The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees. Hi, I'm Elise of Joyful Plant, and welcome to Gardening Through Art. I help artists cultivate sustaining brands with my Gardening Through Art method. Let's begin. Today, we'll explore fountain pen lettering. The elegant world of fountain pen lettering invites you to blend the tranquility of nature with the joy of creativity. Whether you are an experienced calligrapher or brand new to lettering, I hope this lesson captivates your imagination as we explore the ancient art of writing. To follow along at home, you'll want a flexible nib pen, ink, paper, pencil, a ruler, and an inspiring quote. Fountain pens are more than just tools for writing. They act as portals to a timeless tradition that incorporates steadiness through breathwork, control, and ease. There are countless choices in the material of a pen, the flexibility of the nib, and even the angle of the writing. This is an oblique pen that changes the direction of the writing to more easily achieve the letter forms and variation in the lettering. These flexible nib pens have refillable ink barrels inside, and they can be refilled using quality ink from a trusted source. To fill a pen, we can unscrew the lid as well as the back and press this barrel pressure down. We'll select the ink we would like to use. Maybe make sure you give it a good shake with the cap on. This is a Noodler's in the Dragon Catfish series. I also like P.H. Martin's, especially their iridescent colors. We dip the pen in the ink and start to twist the barrel so it can fill. Ink can be very staining, so be careful what you have beneath your pen work. And we might wipe it off a little bit just to clear some of the excess. We can replace the back of the pen and add the cap to the back for a counterweight. Let's begin the basics of fountain pen lettering by beginning with some simple upstrokes that are light and delicate, while downstrokes are bold with firm pressure. We practice these strokes at a specific angle. Spencerium penmanship works at a 52-degree angle, and copperplate uses 55 degrees. You can estimate that, knowing that if this is 90 degrees, halfway is 45, and 52 would be 7 degrees up. It takes a little bit to warm up to the process. Pausing on the upstroke, applying pressure on the downstroke, and having about a 30-degree angle. You can continue to practice different types of angles. This is a right curve or a left curve, and they also use straight lines. Getting used to the flexibility of your nib can be quite helpful. Using mountains and valleys or spirals. There's quite a bit of theory that we can practice from ancient Spencerian penmanship from the 1800s to a modern calligraphy form. There are certain rules for posture, having feet on the ground, keeping your shoulders back, your arms just gently resting, and oftentimes using breath work. The quote we would like to use today is by Dr. Maria Montessori. "The land is where our roots are. The children must be taught to feel and live in harmony with the earth." We'll try this on a new page. Practice by giving yourself an estimated angle. So 45 degrees goes to 52. You can give yourself a couple parallel lines. And if you would like to estimate the angle for the meeting line, it's about 30 degrees. So that's 15 degrees below the 45-degree angle. There are infinite ways to look up the techniques that you'd like to use. You can find a lot of inspiration through books and old-time lettering. You can get creative with your opening letter. The first one that we'll be using is a capital T, so we might use a little bit of this inspiration to practice the letter form. You can use flourishes and notice when your pen lets ink, using some basic penmanship rules. We just slow down and we use our breath almost like a yoga practice and start to get to know your own hand. It doesn't have to be exactly how it was done when your grandparents were in school. But you may find that as you practice these letter forms, it actually becomes easier to write because you can relax and let them smoothly create shape on the page. Some people might be a little bit quicker. And it's okay to not to like the result. It's okay to not like the result right away. Also, if you notice that you're not using the traditional angle, it's okay to let your hand to develop its own style. I find that lettering quotes can be quite inspiring. Dr. Maria Montessori was an Italian physician that helped us understand how people learn, how to take in information, trusting the process of using our senses. And specific handwriting certainly helps with confidence. Some schools are beginning to teach handwriting again, realizing how important it is to read cursive. We do more than just typing and typing with our thumbs at that. But if we have fun with letter forms, even writing your grocery list or in your planner can be quite enjoyable. And if you take your favorite quotes and letter them, it can be inspiring to leave that up in the world for yourself. You can take inspiration from it every day. You can practice with a pencil. You don't need to have flexible nibs to do that. If you have a pencil that has more flexibility, such as a soft pencil. So you can see that there are some places that the ink has skipped. So I'll just go back and fill those in. And as I said, it doesn't need to be perfect or even at this beautiful angle. Some people might use something like a copper plate or an old English round hand script, or you might use the style that they used in Montessori schools with Danielian script. The Spencerian style was developed in the mid-1800s and was the standard taught in school for many years. It is inspired by the original John Hancock, and also it's more efficient to write, so it was used for a number of things. We'll write one more. Let's try this one in hot pink. This one is called Establishing Lasting Peace is the Work of Education. All politics can do is keep us out of war. And let's hope they do. So you can elaborate. Usually the capital letter is about 3 spaces high. You can slow it down if you like. Remembering to pause, and press down, and have light upstrokes. And really trust your instincts in terms of letter forms. There are always rules, but it's up to you if you adhere to them or if you use them at first and then let yourself have some freedom. And some might consider this an almost lost art, but there are some resources out there now that we can use for practicing enjoyable penmanship. And people who are left-handed have a little bit of a different type of challenge. But it's still possible to find a way to write without rubbing your hand through it. This is also a nice way to keep in touch with friends. Writing cards is one of the most heartfelt gifts to receive. You can keep a journal. For example, The Artist's Way recommends 3 pages of morning pages every morning, stream of consciousness, for artists of any style. And I find this method to be extremely soothing and relaxing. Sometimes we might tighten our hand, especially when we're writing in print or in all capitals. It can be hard to feel relaxed. But this method can relax your hand and make writing more enjoyable. So you can look at what is fun about your piece, and you can decide if you want to add any flourishes. Sometimes I like to add my little joyful plant rose-mulling flower that we experienced in our last episode. You might have some little signature that you do that makes it just yours. So it's always okay to trace a piece to see how you'd like to change it. And you can try it again and again. You don't have to use lined paper. You can use dots or paper without any lines. And sometimes it's quite helpful to relax into just practicing the motions over and over. Try to notice if you have crossed your T's, dotted I's and J's, and kept the work connected. And looking at this piece, I think it's done. I hope you found this lesson to be soothing and empowering. Please visit joyfulplant.com for more activities and resources. You are invited to add photos of your fountain pen lettering to Instagram with the hashtag gardeningthroughart. I'm Elise of Joyful Plant. Thank you for watching Gardening Through Art. I'll see you next time.